Former Secret Service agent, you know him, former NYPD officer and host of the Dan Bongino Show. Dan, welcome. Appreciate you being here this morning.
You're our most alpha male guest today.
That's I watched that segment. I was horrified. Listen, there's a cure for this beta maleism, get out there, do some darn manual labor, start deadlifting, get in a mixed martial arts class. If you're chop some wood like Sean, get out there and do some soul purifying manual labor. It'll cure you of beta maleism tomorrow.
All right, deadlifting.
Speaking of purifying the soul, let's talk a little bit about Susan Rice and what happened at the end of the Obama administration. And now this book is coming out and saying that part of the Obama cybersecurity team went to her and said, we want to go after Russia. This whole deal that Democrats are now saying, this is a threat to our democracy. Why isn't more being done by the Trump administration? The Obama administration wanted to do something, and Susan Rice said no.
Ed, Obama himself gave a pre-2016 election speech. It's out there for anyone to see on YouTube where he downplayed the Russian threat. He said, listen, our elections are decentralized. No reasonable person thinks the Russians are going to hack an election. Obama himself said this. So what is it, Democrats? What's the story? Are the Russians the biggest hostile geopolitical threat to the United States since our inception? Or are they just a minor player that's not going to be able to impact our elections? What story is it? There seems to be no media curiosity about this at all because they just want to attack Trump and make him look bad.
Who do you think is the most important person that helped make that pivot from the Russians don't matter and couldn't affect our elections to they're the most significant thing that we face and Donald Trump colluded with them? At what moment and what person flipped that switch or tried to?
I think after the election, the Obama team needed to cover their tracks. Who specifically, outside of the man himself, Barack Obama? I'm not sure. I know John Brennan's a major player in this. But, Pete, I have absolutely no doubt that, listen, I've done a lot of homework on this. I'm almost done with my book on it, as a matter of fact, that the Trump team was framed, that they were set up. This is not in dispute, by the way, but I'm about to tell you. You know that game, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, where everything gets back to Kevin Bacon? They should call this game 6 Degrees of Hillary Clinton. Look at every single source of information, negative information about the Trump team and their so-called collusion that didn't happen. Every single source is somehow connected to Hillary Clinton or somebody Hillary Clinton and her team.
Andrew McCabe.
I challenge you to find me another one. Every source.
We're going to move on. We're going to move on to
Downer, everyone.
Okay, Dan, let's talk about immigration because it's still a hot topic. We have Senator Kamala Harris, who's now come out and defended the mayor of Oakland, who alerted all the, felons and criminals, illegal aliens about the ICE raids. What's going on here? Are the Democrats trying to make ICE are the bad guys? Is this like a campaign platform for them now?
Yeah, it is. I mean, listen, to Democrats, immigration is not about immigrants. Folks, I'm sorry, but if you think that, you have been wildly misled. It is not about immigrants. It is about votes. It has only been about votes. It's been about votes because they need to replace the working class voters they're losing by talking about tax cuts as crumbs with people coming into the country illegally that they can get to vote later on. This is a disgrace. This Oakland mayor, I don't get this at all. I mean, what are you going to say to a parent, God forbid, and I mean that. Later on, you have someone here illegally with criminal tendencies who runs your kid down on the road or assaults them or robs them or even worse. What do you say to that if that person might have been deported despite the fact that the Oakland mayor gave them a warning beforehand? This is disgraceful. I mean, do we live in a constitutional republic anymore? Do laws even matter to Democrats?
Well, that's disgusting. That's a key question of how it will manifest, not just in 2018, but 2020, because some thought, hey, this Oakland mayor's got to be an outlier. But then you've got a senator like Kamala Harris doubling down and saying, I think Mayor Schaaf is doing exactly what she believes in the best interests of her community, and I support that 100%. You also have headlines like this from The Nation saying it's time to abolish ICE. So will we get to a point where conservatives and Republicans say, hey, our laws need to matter and we support immigration policies, and the left says we shouldn't have ICE at all? Is that really where we're going?
Yes, I mean, they're entirely hypocrites on this, the Democrats. I mean, listen, Obamacare was a disaster for me, total disaster. But Democrats' position on that was, hey, man, it's the law. You got to follow it no matter how bad the stink level of Obamacare was. But then when it comes to immigration, well, that law, that doesn't really matter. Well, why? Because immigrant communities will largely vote just based on historical records for Democrats, where they can give away, they can.
Really quick, they lost on that. Why would they double down on immigration when that's why they lost this election? The presidential
Because, Rachel, they don't have anything else. What are they going to run on? We're going to hike your taxes, we're going to take your health care and send your kids to a crap school? What's their campaign side for 2020 other than illegal immigrants, please vote for us? They don't. What's their backup plan? Yeah. They don't have a backup plan. They don't have a platform.
All right, you heard it there. Alpha male Dan Bongino. Appreciate it.